We are live. Woohoo! Welcome to our live stream today. I know we're late because, me and technology are still making friends. And my friend Heather here too is still making friends. Yeah, it's like that with us and technology. It's all about the energy because sometimes it works perfectly and flows easily, and other times, and the more frustrated I get, the less it works. So there we go.
Yes.
So today, Heather is airing, let's see, she's on the 4th, so Friday. She'll be airing, her video will be in your inbox on Friday. Today, we wanted to come in and talk a little bit more about how to not be drained by others, because we've both been feeling that. So this is Heather Dressel. I'm going to turn it over to you to just dive into that topic or say anything else you'd like to say to introduce yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for having me, and hello to everyone in this beautiful community. I was on a vacation last week with family at the beach, so I was checking in a little bit, but I've had time to check in, and it's so wonderful to be part of this and be here. And yeah, today we were going to talk about a little bit about how not to be drained by other people's energy as an empath. And I'm going to start that conversation by saying there is no one single way. And
Real.
every day of every hour, something different will probably work for you. So I say this about a lot of things,
Yes.
in terms of being highly sensitive and being an empath or even just being human, right? And we get triggered, things get kicked up. And so just being open, I think, is the first key. This was the first key for me, being open to trying new things, receiving tools from people and kind of keeping them in your little medicine bag, because one day, breathing and meditating may be a great answer for you. And another day, you may want to pull your hair out before you can actually sit down and meditate. And so maybe like a walk would be better, or something different. So the first thing that I always share when I'm talking about, energy and triggers and not taking on other people's emotions is, or energy being drained, is to just be open to the plethora of beautiful practices that are out there to really help us transition through these times. And I'd also like to share that I'm not the only empath and I'm not the only highly sensitive person in my household. And so if you have children that are empaths and highly sensitive, as you can imagine, there's a lot of energy going on, and they're taking on my energy and I'm taking on their energy. And so they're teenagers now, and it's still a dance. It's still a dance. And I always say it's a spiral journey. So we come back to the same things over and over again to relearn and look at things through a different lens with curiosity, and how we can learn more from it. And so as an empath with children who are empaths and highly sensitives, I'm coming around again and again and again and again. And so when Marti and I began, she mentioned talking about, getting drained by other people's energies. And I was like, yes, let's do that, because today has been one of those days for me. And so to me, the most important thing with like being drained by other people's energies is to first understand, like, that was the big thing for me when I first was like, I'm not the only person who feels this way. And there's like a whole like percentage of the population that are also empaths and highly sensitive people. It was the idea of understanding what was going to work for me. I had a tendency of always comparing myself to other people. Marti, I feel like you and I talked about this a little bit. Like, if they can push themselves, why can't I push myself to do and go?
All right. Yes.
But it's really, yeah, it's really important to know that you're an individual and to understand what your energy feels like versus someone else's energy. And so just having the awareness of, I may be getting like, oh, I was fine. And then all of a sudden I'm like super anxious or have a completely different emotion and there's no real reason for it. That's a moment where I started to learn, oh, well, wait, is that my energy? And just pausing
Mhm.
and taking a breath and like feeling your body and asking yourself that question, like, is this my energy? Is this my anxiety? Is this my anger? And I can share a quick experience with one of the first times that I did that. I was in a conversation with a very dear friend of mine, and she was getting really triggered. I thought we were having like this great conversation. Then all of a sudden I could feel my heart just like tighten. And I was like, what just happened? I
Right.
feel like so incredibly anxious, like I'm having heart palpitations and I can't breathe. And I was just fine 5 seconds ago. And I said, this is the first time I ever did it. Is this my energy? Is this my energy? And it was like a big no. And just the idea of knowing that it wasn't mine, I took a nice deep breath and I released the exhale probably a little longer than I normally would. And just that little awareness
Right.
helped me to start to set a boundary that, okay, this is not mine. And I can sit here and I can listen and I can hold space for this. This is what I've learned over the years, but I don't have to hold it. I don't have to take it on, right? And if you do take it on, right, because we're empaths, energy, everything is energy, right? People, places, spaces, globally, all of it is energy. So we're always taking things on. And one of the biggest parts of my work for my personal self and in the work that I do in the world is learning to weave the energy of release into your daily life, into your daily existence, so that in those times that you do start to get drained and you do feel like you're taking on a lot, which sometimes is just inevitable in this world, you have some practices, you have some things to help you say, okay, whew, that was really rough. This doesn't feel like it was my energy. Like, okay, let me see, like, where is it in my body? Right? Like, that's something that I've been leaning into lately because we have a tendency as humans, right, to like live from the neck up and consistently be in our
Yes.
heads and forget we have this glorious body, this beautiful vessel, right, that houses our soul. And so I've really been also getting into that place of like, okay, let me get in my body. Like, where do I feel that? Can I stretch? Like, is there a stretch I can do? Is there a breath I can do? Maybe I need to take a walk, in nature. That's one of my most beautiful ways to release, to just walk and breathe. And I set the intention for my walk. Uh-oh, are we here still? It
You're
cut out
still
on
here,
my
yeah,
end.
for a split second. Yeah.
Okay. To just, set the intention before I walk, right? Take a nice deep breath. I usually put a hand on my womb and a hand on my heart and I breathe. And I just set the intention that with every step I take, that every time my foot touches the earth, I am offering this energy that I no longer need to Mama Gaia as a gift. And she will turn it into something magical. You can set whatever intention you want,
I love that.
whatever intention you want. And you don't even have to know, right? Like, I think it's so helpful. And like, I think I may have shared this in the interview, but you don't even have to know exactly what that energy is. Like, you might just be feeling drained and you can't quite pinpoint which situation or which person
Right.
is what drained you. And so you
Yeah.
can also just set that intention to release. I'm just going to set the intention to release my unwanted stagnant energy that is not mine.
Yes.
That's like a really, really big one for me. And what just came up for me is going in a little bit of a different direction. And I think it's important because Spirit is tapping on me to share. There are some people in our lives, right? If you've ever heard of the term energy vampire, have you ever heard of that? There's a book, I think,
Yes,
called Energy
ma'am.
Vampire. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Christine, Dr. Christine Northrup, maybe, whose book that was. I can't remember, but
Yes, it's
there
her
are
book.
people who really Yeah, who really suck the energy out of you. There are people who really suck the energy out of you. And so um, it really depends on who the person is and what the relationship is. But this summit of how to set healthy boundaries and all the oodles of beautiful wisdom that we're gaining from all incredible people who are speaking can help us, in those situations. Yeah.
Absolutely true.
Cut out again.
It's sometimes I
Yeah.
noticed I was as you were speaking, I'm thinking that sometimes it's really clear who it is that's just drained the life out of you, or you took on their energy. I just had that experience with someone on the phone. I hung up and I'm like, what just happened? And then this whole set of experiences just happened behind it. And I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
I didn't take care of it beforehand and I didn't take care of it right after. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how long we've been practicing. Sometimes we just don't remember to do it, and we're in the situation, or we're
We're
excited to talk.
human. Yeah.
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 And that's
We're
one of my
human.
favorite
And that's
questions is it my stuff? And I don't have to know whose it is.
yeah. Yeah. And when like, I'm so glad you said that. When you know that you're going to be in a situation with someone who is an energy sucker, and I know we all have them in our lives. I definitely have
You
some, and some of them I love dearly. I really, really do. And they suck the energy out of me like so quickly. And so when we do remember to use these tools, like I will often do some protection for myself, like set the intention that I'm protecting my energy. I may, visualize a warm light around myself. Like I'm here to hold space for what's coming, but I don't have to allow it in.
Yeah,
And just setting that intention before I step into the conversation, the
absolutely.
room that I'm in with this person. Um, and another one that I do is, oh no, are we still going? It keeps
You're
cutting out
there.
on my end. Okay. Another one that I can share that's super simple that I learned years ago from my Reiki master, who I love. And she taught me how she taught her children. They were
Oh no. Now she
of, yeah, you kind of start like where your zipper would be on a pair of pants, and you go all the way up to your chin and you turn it like you're locking it, and you do each wrist. And these are like energetic points. And then 3 times I say, protect me, please protect me, protect me, please protect me, or whatever it is that I'm trying to do. But like I use that when I go into a Costco. I use that when I go into an airport, because the lights and the people and the merchandise and the phones and devices and all of the things, it's like, woo. So just like whatever I can do to, help remind my body, even like you don't have to take this in. We're just going to walk through, and then like, woo, we're going to do a little release and be okay. Oh,
and you froze again. Can you hear me?
oh.
Some
I hear you a little bit. You're frozen. Now you're
There you
frozen.
are.
Oh, there you are.
You're
You're back.
unfrozen now. So I had a question though about,
Am I still
have you
frozen?
ever had the experience where you're speaking with someone, whether it be on the phone or in person, and you can feel like little little tendrils trying to tap into you?
Yes.
I did that zipper thing. I had that experience one time, and I just went. It was automatic. I didn't even give it a thought. It just like it looked like a corset in my mind, like zipping up a corset right up my solar plexus,
Hmm.
and it changed the energy of the conversation. So it's practice. It's a practice because I don't remember every time I go someplace, and even if I do it in the morning and then I go someplace else, it sometimes is
It
required to do
is.
it more than one time a day, maybe every situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why having that like toolbox, right? Having a toolkit, having a medicine bag, whatever you want to call it. You have things that you can use and try for different situations. And I've had friends or myself or clients say like, I've tried everything. I've tried every single, tool that I have and practice that I have, and like nothing is working. And that might happen, and that's okay. And my you know, the best thing in those situations to remember is that sometimes like you just have to pause and feel what's happening. Like whether it's like you're totally drained or you're feeling fear or you're having some strong emotion, sometimes you just have to just be, and that's like the hardest part of all of it, I think.
It can be, yes, for sure. And we're in a whole new energy as the
Mhm.
energy's been shifting and expanding and ascending. There may be things that you've been doing for a while that won't work anymore or will work periodically. So then it's listening to what's the new tool, what's the new way to do it, or
Mhm.
bring the new energy to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And one person's new way to do it may not be your new way to do it. So again, just keeping an open
So
mind
right.
that
So
there are
right.
many different things you can do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. So I've Christina can see us here. Someone else said hi, but it says Facebook user because we're using a different platform, so I can't see who it is. So hello, everybody that's here. I just want to say that. Yeah. Any other little words of wisdom? Because there's just so much around the energy that we feel.
There is so much. You know, the next thing that just came up for me is a little tough. Like there's definitely people in my life that I've had to slowly back away from because it's just a really, to use a very overused word, it's toxic, and it's there's nothing that, those relationships where, there's nothing that is going to change it, and like, is it worth what it's doing to you? I've had friends where I've had to really just like, okay, bow out. Thank you so much for the lessons I've learned from you at this point in my life. And, my mother used to say to me all the time, people come in and out of your life for different reasons. And a lot of the time it's to teach you something, and it doesn't mean they're meant to be there forever. And so like if you ever find yourself like really like you're holding on to a relationship and you don't know why, because you know that it's not good for you, um, I started exploring also cord cutting and really doing some energetic healing around any, energy that was really hooked together between me and that person. And, for me, that was a lot of like leaning in and trusting intuition and what my intuition wanted me to do in order to really let go of the energy that was holding me to the person. So it can look different for everybody. I wish I had like a 5-step thing that would work for everyone, but I don't know if that really exists.
Well, and that's so coming full circle to you talking about adding
So
to the
just,
medicine bag, adding the tools so that you have a plethora of things to grasp, to use where you resonate in the moment. Because I've had that experience where the one I've been using, and then I had somebody was tapping into my energy, and she said, "But you have so much there," and I went, "But I've been doing all the things." She said, "But it wasn't working anymore."
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get comfortable, right? Like there
Oh
was a
gosh.
while there where I
Yes.
was like, my breath is my anchor and I can do anything if I just take 3 deep breaths. This was like the very beginning of my my spiritual
Yes.
awakening and my healing journey. Uh, and then like I would get in these moments and be like, I'm breathing, and it's not working.
And it's not working. Oh my gosh, yes. So really that's the piece is really feeling into that tool that
Yeah, and
resonates for you at
I'm
the
just
moment.
totally and pausing again. It's like all about the possibility that you have and the ability you have to be aware of like, okay, this isn't working. It doesn't mean I'm a failure. It doesn't mean anything is wrong with me.
Sure.
And have I really checked in with myself? I forget to do that consistently. My spiritual mentor right now always, she's like, when I see her, she's like knocking me here. She's like, you have to remember to ask. You have to remember to ask yourself what you need. Ask spirit how spirit can help you, right? It's okay to ask. And so just pausing in that moment of like, okay, the breathing isn't working, instead of like getting all fired up, like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Oh yeah, which opens us up more.
Mhm. just pause and ask yourself, like hold yourself or just touch your body and feel your feet on the ground and breathe. Ask, you know, what do I need right and now in this present moment? And just be and
Yeah.
allow. And sometimes that's the hardest part, right? To just be and allow. But and so much can come through in that quiet.
Yeah. And it doesn't take a long time. So Christine said, or hi, Sylvia. Sylvia was the one. She said, let's see, how to back away from one just a couple of months. I'm on oxygen these days. So if anything starts to zap my energy, it really takes my breath away.
Mm.
So taking deep breaths do make a difference. And then she said, and that's why tapping works so good.
Mhm.
We're
Yes.
out to do the tapping. I love that. Yeah, I'm not able to comment on here, but I can read them. So
Awesome. Yeah, the tapping is great. I'm just starting to learn
super
and lean
powerful.
into that. I've
I
always
yeah, I
done
don't
it.
do it a lot, but it is super powerful to help clear that energy.
Yes. Well, what's interesting about it is I've never really studied tapping per se in terms of like the actual points, which I do feel like I'm fully being pulled to and wanting to, but I have always done this practice, which if you're okay with it, we could do it here. It's really simple.
Absolutely.
That be okay? Yeah. So
Ah,
I
I love doing it real time.
awesome. So yeah, I would just say feel your feet on the ground. I just kicked off my flip-flops.
Okay, my feet are they're always well, almost always. So anyway, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Did you show the tapping before I joined, or did you mean theta healing tapping? Oh, we haven't done any tapping yet. She's gonna do it right now. So perfect.
And I don't know what I would call this. So what I was starting to say was I'm leaning into learning more about tapping, but I wanted to share a practice that I have always done that does involve tapping, but it doesn't come from any specific thing that I have learned. It's just been something I've always done intuitively. So
I
that's
love it. Okay, so
okay.
what made me think it was when you tapped your forehead? So the tapping. Hold
Oh
on.
yeah, I was
My
talking about spiritual mentor being like, "Hello."
right? Let's see. Let me see how I can see the car.
That's why I'm leaning in because I took my glasses off. Okay, so well, my favorite way to start everything: feet on the floor. Just really feel the bottoms of your feet. And notice your breath. Just notice where it is in this present moment. No shame, no judgment, just awareness. And your eyes can be opened or closed. I like to close my eyes just to shut one of my senses down. Then we're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're going to do that 2 more times at your leisure. Continue breathing however feels good for you. And with your hands over your heart space or in prayer position, we're going to set the intention to call up the energy that is ready to be released. We're calling up the stagnant, maybe negative energy that either no longer belongs to you or was not yours to begin with. So just any unwanted energy. Now I invite you to embrace your intuition. And with the fingers, just your fingertips on both hands, you're going to just gently tap in whatever rhythm or however feels good for you, wherever you want on your body. And try to hit as many places as you can because we hold energy all over the place, all over our body. And so, what we're doing right now is we're like knocking on the door of our body and we're like inviting this energy that we don't need to come up to the surface. So just take a moment while you breathe to just tap wherever feels good for you. You may notice that you end up somewhere longer than somewhere else, which may mean that there's just more there. A couple deep breaths with some sighs will help a little. And then when you feel complete, I would invite you to take the palms of your hands and we're just going to sweep all that energy that came up off of our physical body. And if you're a visual person, visualize it. See what the energy looks like that you're letting go of. Shake your hands off. If you want to stand up and stomp your feet or shake your body, just like letting go of everything that you just pulled up. And then when you feel complete, you can either embrace yourself or put your hand on your heart and your womb, just connecting with your body, feeling your feet on the ground again. And when you're feeling complete, if your eyes are closed, you can open them. I do that a lot. I really love doing that exercise. And in this healing group that I do every fall, that's one of the first practices that we learn to do. And we do it a lot.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's very simple.
Yeah. Super
energizing, she said. And oh, lovely. That felt so great. Yay.
Simple yet potent are my favorite ingredients.
Right. Simple is and they're usually the most powerful.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, when they get too complicated, I'm too in my head about it. So keeping it really simple is best.
Right, because we're able, that's such an amazing point to make because we are in our head. And so something that's so simple and involves your body kind of takes you down, takes you out of there, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. Sylvia, I think it's Sylvia. So yes, thank you for that. That was beautiful and simple and easy and amazing. Any questions before we close for this particular session? Then it will stay in the group so that you can come back to it anytime you choose. If you want to hear more or see the exercise that she gave us again. That particular. Thank you for this. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions yet, but I'll see if there's any just a moment of lag sometimes. Yeah, any questions? Any specific questions for Heather? Because I don't think there's comments show on your side.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Oh, wait. They do. I was on a different.
Excellent. Kirstine said very nice. Thank you. All right. Well, thanks for showing up and being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Heather. I appreciate you. I love sharing this space with you. It's been just a pleasure and a joy, and I'm so grateful that I got to meet you through this whole process for the summit. And I know we'll be communicating more, of course.
Yes.
We make these connections, and it's something that I learned in doing this whole summit, and something that somebody else commented about was I don't feel alone anymore. And I thought, well, I had places that I didn't feel alone, but in my job, in my role as a solopreneur,
Wow.
I was very much doing a lot by myself. So
yes.
Very grateful to have collaborated with so many just beautiful, beautiful souls.
Yes, honoring co-creation, such a beautiful, beautiful thing.
It's like that thing you didn't know was missing until it's not.
Yeah. Yes. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for saying yes and being here, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, so
and then I have another hi, ladies, and hi, and we're at the end, so catch the replay.